Sorry.
They're good.
Madam Chair, you have the meeting.
Okay, well, we will call this quickly to order then, and get organized here. Grab the agenda. I apologize for the lateness of this. We'll call the meeting to order of Tuesday, January 27th for Admin and Finance. Approve the January 13th minutes. I move to approve.
All right. Jenny moves, Chelsea seconds.
Okay. We'll just briefly go over business registration ordinance and short-term rental ordinance are both second reading actions tonight. I don't think anybody has any questions on those, do we?
I just wanted to verify that the stuff that was included in the packet matched the record. We have to pass it twice, identical, so the packet should reflect the changes from last week, and if anybody thought they didn't, I just
Do
wanted
we
to
have
address it
changes
now.
from last week?
We had those amendments during the meeting.
Oh,
Yep, and
Okay,
I
you-
sent those over to, the only thing for 907 was codifying it, and then the only thing.
oh, that's
for-
right, thank you. Same
Uh,
thing, codifying it. Okay.
And then 63, we also did a little bit of tuning, but
Okay.
I sent over all those changes to Lonnie, and
Okay.
those are reflected.
Perfect, thank you. Okay. City council rules and procedures discussion tonight. The only thing that I had on that was, we did find that we could do, AI minutes type of thing, but we just need to review them to make sure that they're accurate.
Yep,
Do
So
we
I-
want to recommend doing that?
I think so.
So,
This is
so what I have here is you have, there's two things. So this is this morning's minutes.
Okay,
There's two versions, if you want to look behind you. The first is a transcription of the meeting. This is only behind you, it's not on the
oh, on here, okay,
copy. So this is a transcription of the minutes, like a verbatim.
okay,
The other thing that's there is what you have a copy
AI
of in
summary,
front of
okay.
you. But what I need to figure out is how to do it so it doesn't have the boxes inside of it. So this is the hard copy there. And this actually did a pretty good job. So this is the AI summary, which is now turned on. The VTT, this text we have for all of our cloud recorded meetings, so we can recoup it from past years. But this summary is here, so then whoever's the secretary can basically go through that right after the meeting and kind of say,
I really like this.
Yeah, this is great. I think this is exactly what we need.
Yeah,
and so that'll
That'll be
So when it comes to the minutes then, when it comes to the rules and procedures, it would just be edited, say they'll maintain minutes and the AI minutes
our count,
We'll,
Okay.
to accomplish, to meet the goal of minutes, it will say, Zoom will be set to do the AI summaries, and
Yep.
and then the other thing I would do is, and then these will be posted online.
Okay.
Just to make sure that, and like I said, I can direct staff to do that, but if it's coming from council, that makes it less arguable.
Yeah,
okay, perfect.
I think
Nope,
that's,
I agree,
perfect.
yeah, totally agree. We can have these on hand to pass out to everybody if we have time tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
And
that'll be perfect.
I'll see if I can,
Okay.
if I can get into that copy that is, yeah.
Okay.
So, without the little boxes on, I think there's a little bit of tweaking and, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's there. I just don't know how to do it. And then, to me, ultimately, what I would do is I'd like to see that summary as like the first two pages and then combine, because we can only post one document online, but start out with the summary and then concatenate it with the verbatim
yeah,
Yeah,
that's there.
That's ideal.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I would do, because that verbatim
absolutely.
allows
And so if
you
there's
to-
something on here that they like or that they are interested in, then they can go into the verbatim.
yep.
And
do
this
the actual
doesn't do it, but the verbatim, actually, if I go into the verbatim
Has
and
the-
preview it, the verbatim, had the
Timestamps.
timestamps of
Okay.
when it was said.
And so then you could even go back into the
Because
meeting
now I know.
video and watch
Yeah.
and listen.
Right, so if I go
Yeah.
to here, now you know how far into the meeting to go to find that video.
Rod, do you have any comments on this? Do you think?
I think it's good.
I do too.
I would, my proposal is this, that if you'd like it to be both, I'd like council to put that in the minutes so that I don't have a battle with staff about this is what we're gonna do.
I would like this to be both. That makes me very happy, and I am more than happy to fight this too.
Yeah, and we'll just, it's not a fight, we'll
I
just put it, we'll
no.
just put it in the rules and procedures. It'll be,
But,
this
you know,
will
but
be combined with
like-
this and posted online for the public.
Patty, you know, and Chelsea both take detailed minutes, and it takes, I don't know how long it takes you, but it takes 3 hours, yeah. Patty
Minimum,
says,
yeah.
yeah, it takes Patty 3 hours. I mean, and I don't, that's a waste of time.
When we
if
can do this.
When we can do this.
Yeah, and
That's time better well spent,
So-
you know.
So this would,
and also more accurate. That's the other
You're
thing
right.
that worries me is I'm going back and doing these minutes. I used to just rewatch the videos, and that was taking me forever.
Yeah.
And now I do them here, and then I fine tune them after the meeting, which
That's what
usually
I-
takes me another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But who knows, again, as I was telling Dave, I can't remember what I said to Tony over a cup of coffee this morning.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to mess up the minutes. There's too much room for
Right.
human error.
yeah, absolutely, I agree.
this would replace
Committee meeting minutes, yeah,
the human-generated minutes.
Yeah.
yeah,
It would be,
And
it
it
would
would-
be
It would
human
be more
generated,
accurate.
reviewed.
Yeah, I think we can review it. I think we should.
yep,
Yeah.
And we can do that at each meeting, the same way that we look at our, like, we have this go out with our agenda, and then we review it and approve them the same way we do.
Well, and what I like is that these would be available immediately, so
Yeah.
if there's some action items or
Mhm.
tasks or homework for people,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can give this to them and say, hey,
Huge.
you said you would do this, you said you would do this.
Yep.
If you get it done.
Yep.
We have it right here that I asked.
And it does take a couple of hours to generate those, but relatively immediately, same
Right.
day.
Yeah.
But we could get them out that same day to everyone and say, please review please review the minutes and your
Yeah.
action items,
Or
or you
even-
got, you know, your homework or,
When we're putting together an agenda
Yeah.
for the next meeting,
Right.
like, oh, what did we say we were gonna do? Right.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And that's what I do, is I go through and review my notes and scribbles of these are the things that are on there, but yeah, I like that version. So.
Yeah, no, I really
I
like
have all
it.
of our meetings set up to be doing that right now, so.
Perfect.
We did find out we are required to make them available. It has all the same public meeting rules
Oh, yeah,
and everything else,
definitely.
so it's a good thing we're posting agendas and whatnot. But the second part of that is, this does meet the requirement.
Okay.
So that was what was on my.
So,
Yeah.
on to minutes, I do have a list from Lonnie of ones that are still missing.
Okay?
So let me grab that on my phone, I'm not gonna set up my laptop. I'll just go over this really quick. Let's see, Lonnie, okay.
And my bet is, because everything related to the cloud has VTT, so if we don't have the minutes, if you have them, great, we'll post them. If you don't, we'll put the VTT up in its place.
Okay. The only one, in Public Works, that I don't think I can get is 6/24/25, and I was gonna actually check to see if we even had a meeting that week, because that's the only one I can't find for Public Works. Admin and Finance, we are good, on admin and finance.
And that was
Land use and planning, had quite a
425,
few.
you said?
And a lot of them were before, Patty was on council. So I don't know
Sandy.
you had Sandy, okay.
I think it was
So,
Sandy.
I don't know if you have those in your inbox.
I will,
It's February 24th. I'll forward this to you so you can
Perfect.
see it.
perfect.
Disregard the 1/12/26 because, you know, that was just this now, so. And I think, a couple of those dates, Patty might have been gone because they were like July and August. I'm not sure if she was there or not.
She's been pretty good about being
Yeah.
at all the meetings.
Yeah,
So-
just when she was on vacation. So, and then Public Health and Safety just had, the one they're missing there is December 9th, so. So we've done really good, but I'll forward this over to you because like I say, most of them are land use and planning.
Okay.
And you were the chair on that one.
Yeah.
And,
So if I'm looking at dates, so let me. I heard June, is that correct?
oh gosh. Well, for the Public Works was June 24th, 25. I don't have any meeting minutes in my inbox for that anybody sent me, because I'm chair for that.
Okay. And if
So I
Mike-
didn't know if Mike might have been gone and someone else was gone, so we just canceled the meeting. I'm not sure. I was gonna check to see if there was a June 24th if there's a recording out there for it.
Yeah, and it may have been deleted just because we have limited space, so.
Oh.
I went back and I'm not seeing it there, so I'm wondering if we don't have it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, and, Lonnie kind of said if we're just missing one or two, it's probably not the end of the world, but.
Yeah.
But we want to try to get as many of them out there as we can, so,
But you've identified a way to create those minutes
yes.
accurately.
Absolutely, yes. So we won't have this problem in the future.
I'm so pumped.
Yay,
This makes me really happy for the record.
yes,
Thank
thank you.
Put that on the record.
See how AI captures that.
Yeah.
So, the Red Lodge Rural Fire Department, annexation of the city of Red Lodge, do you have any updates on that?
I
Mayor?
do, two parts, so I'm looking for, and I haven't found it yet, I'm looking for the updated resolution, which I thought we had, but I've not been able to identify it, because, so we had, our city attorney built a resolution, and it
Yep.
had multiple problems identified, we identified as did the fire department. But there's also a separate conversation, I think, once we get through tonight's, activity, there's a separate conversation that we're looking at, which may even allow us to address the budget for this year. And there was a specific code that Tom referenced, and I apologize, I don't have, like, it was 1022 or something or other.
Yeah,
That he said that, and what that proposal was a two-part proposal. Basically, that we would pay the same rate that they were paying for that the rest of the district was paying, but I think also some additional stuff that was going to be from resort tax for capital, which is different than, what I wanted to see was, we pay that rate and we pay a portion of it from resort tax. I still think annexing is our correct answer for multiple reasons. Nothing actionable today.
right,
But we're looking at something that gets us through this year's budget cycle. I have a heightened level of concern. It's probably more of a public health and safety concept, but I think council is aware that we've heard that we can utilize that police funding without having a joint agreement with the school. It still has the same restrictions and concerns with it, meaning we get funded for 3 years. By the time we get to the 4th year, it's completely out of our budget, and we do not have the obligation of not funding that position through 4 years without having to pay it back. So it's kind of it's a little bit scary to me to make a 4-year commitment with a high level that we're gonna get this resolved, but it's not resolved yet. Do we pass on the money now? Or do we proceed and say because fire and police, those two alone, like I said, if that locks us into an 8th officer for 4 years, if we take advantage of that.
do you have to hire another officer, or can you
Yeah.
have one of our existing officers
No,
take
it's
over that?
an increase
Okay.
in staff. The only
Okay.
way, and I don't know if this is it, if one of them quit, if we put this in before I hired the 7th one back,
What-
would it meet it? But we put what our staff was as part of the
What
application.
could they, do they have to be a school resource
No,
officer?
they
Okay,
do not. In fact,
So-
the only difference is they would, and like, if we were to put that officer in the schools, or a higher presence in the schools, they would not have the school resource officer training paid for as part of the grant.
I know we don't usually write tickets for money, but could we have this person also do, like, create a position where it's like code enforcement as well?
Absolutely.
And so then, because, I mean, I know,
And the
like I
tickets
said, we
could
don't,
include the cost of recuperating the
yeah,
expenses.
that's kind of what, I mean, I think we have enough code violations around that we could probably, not as an income generator, but we do have a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of.
Down that path cautiously.
Just, I know, that's what I mean, we don't
You don't want the
usually,
public perception, we're writing tickets because we have bills with them.
right, exactly, that's why I say we don't do that, but
I just always.
we also have a lot of code violations out there that we are not addressing, and
And we've given that direction, but the response is, we'll get to that right after we're taking the,
the guns away from somebody.
yeah, and the child
Yeah.
trafficker, yeah, so.
So I get that, but
So
it would
it's
also
just-
maybe open that up more, though, so that I would be agreeable to having that 8th officer, going ahead with that grant, if we also were able to start doing some code enforcement, I guess.
Would this place the officer in the school?
It does not demand or require it. That would be a staff we make on our own. Now, I will offer that I've had follow-up conversations with the superintendent. They actually have an ex-sheriff employee that they are, or a retired sheriff employee, that they are hiring and putting in the school for limited, like, I think 5 to 10 hours a week, that they plan on, and that part of that job description would be to coordinate with the local police department to work and, like, have them come in. But this is not this is not a full, it's not a school resource officer because it doesn't have that training as part of it.
So, I guess you have to justify why you're bringing the 8th officer on if it's deviating from the original plan.
Yep.
If it's not for the safety of our children, what are we doing? I guess that's, because that was the original intent,
Right.
was the safety of our schools and children. And
And it also gave us an extra officer during the summer.
Are we just grabbing the carrot because it's there, but not fulfilling the original mission?
Now, the chief has said that by doing this as a school resource officer, having that ability to have that extra officer, especially during the summertime, was a
Right.
huge bonus.
And that was understandable.
Yeah.
But it's
And I just think that,
school year, where's that officer going to be and what are they going to be doing? Because if you're gonna commit to that 4th year 100%,
right, and that's where I'm like, right now, they do not have time for code enforcement, period. And they don't give parking tickets unless it's blatant and they're right there. You know, I mean, they're not actively going out and, you know, we had some officers in the past that would give parking tickets, that would give code violations and stuff like that, but
and I understand that,
but it's not,
but
we're hearing from the police department that they are thin on, you know, with their caseloads because they have actual cases. It's not just write a ticket and you're done. They actually have cases that they, the chief would like a detective, basically, to be able to handle all of those, you've heard that from him,
Yeah.
all of those cases. So to have this officer be able to go out and patrol and have someone else be the detective that's actually investigating
See, that would-
cases.
but then we deviate from the intent
It would, yes.
of
It,
the monies.
and that's a given. So what happened is, the original grant, and the reason we applied for it is dead by virtue of the fact that the school said, we are not interested. When we reached out on the grant to let them know, sorry, we're not able to take advantage of it, the response was, you may use it for other missions, and that's where we are. And so I'm back to, that's great, it's the carrot. There's a benefit in taking advantage of that, but there's also a 4-year commitment. That part, I think we've had enough conversations about how we could benefit from an extra officer enough, that part doesn't scare me. The part that scares me is, it's a 4-year commitment that we're gonna have that additional position, and
The 4th year.
knowing, and
We
just
pay for
knowing that
100%.
we already need to solve our public safety, which is a combination of police and fire, already has some open issues that need to be resolved. So do I wait until those are resolved before we take advantage of that? Or do we take advantage of this now because we have a high level of comfort that we will be getting it resolved? That's really what it boils down to in my mind.
So, and explain to Rod how the grant works. Like the first year, we get, is it
It's just
90%?
front-loaded and it dies off.
And by the
you know,
4th year,
now-
we're paying,
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the 4th year, we're paying 100%. So
It's just-
that's, 4th year is tough.
And it is a 4-year
Are
commitment.
we,
And if we don't pay that, go through 4 years, we have to pay the grant back.
right,
So that's huge. So
Yeah.
it's a huge commitment.
I guess my concern is not getting the original intent worked into that somehow, and just diverting to in another direction.
Yeah.
I think through transparency is fine.
Yeah.
Like, if we say, oh, we're not gonna be able to, this grant is essentially not something we're gonna be able to do because the school district says, no, we'd still like to explore it for other
And
opportunities.
is the school completely out of, if you were to bring on another officer, they still don't want anything to do with it?
Yes, and so they are completely out, they still don't want anything to do with it. However, having said that, that doesn't preclude, let's just say it's dead, we don't take it. We still send officers to school on a regular basis and try to have a presence there.
Right.
But that's as a course of action of the Red Lodge Police Department, not a course of action from the school
I think
or the SRO.
we should at least have a clear mission statement for the use of that money, as how it's going to help, where it's going to be spent, and accounted for. Because at the end of 4 years, that fourth year is 100% on the city, and then at that point, it opens up, does it continue on?
It continues on being open to the city. So fourth year and beyond, the difference being fourth year, we are obligated to have. In the fifth year, we could say, we can't afford this, and that's not there.
Right. And you're gonna probably have a significant number of new council people and mayor that,
Definitely we'll have a new mayor.
you know, they're gonna need to
Quitting already?
understand,
No, but that's 5 years out.
this is gonna need to be very clear
Yeah.
for the future. For those people that come in, they need to be able to understand
What the
the
mission was.
intent
Yep.
today versus 4 years from now.
And that's, like I said, that's the conversation that's gonna come forward, and the reason I brought it up is because it does tie into this, into the fire district conversation, and then we better wrap up because we're
Yeah, we
10 over, but,
Yeah.
the counter to that, because the safe option is just, no, let's not go there. The secondary to that is that there is a cost associated with being too risk adverse. And we've seen that in Billings and other municipalities, and I've seen it in businesses as well, where
Yeah.
the best example I can think of a municipality is Billings ended up paying 3 or 4 times as much as they could have for their new facilities, because somebody tried to sell them the land up front for $1, but they had to do some remediation on it to do it, and they didn't because there was a risk and an exposure there. Somebody else bought it, took the risk and exposure, marked it up, and they still ended up buying the same property. So I just look at it and say, if this is something we're going to need or we ought to need,
I think this calls for a formal presentation by the chief of police to the full council to say,
absolutely.
Oh, yes,
this
absolutely.
is what we can do with the money, and this is what the chief of police's vision is. Potentially, he's going to be here in 4 years.
Yeah,
While the rest
so
of them
absolutely, that will happen before it is done. Before we accept this, council will sign off and
And
say
do you
we're
look
going
at
to
it,
or
like you
not
say,
going
it's the fact that in 4 years, you usually have some turnover. So do you just not fill that
to.
position?
No, that's not an option. With this
At-
grant, we still have to maintain the same head count, so we would have to fill it. After 4
4
years,
That's what
we
I mean,
would
after
have to
4
fill it.
years, like, there'd probably be some turnover if you can't afford
Yeah.
that 8th officer
It's going to be a
then.
decision to replace
Yeah,
or
either,
not.
or not, yeah.
And then you can outweigh the pros and cons of having
Yeah.
that officer over the past 4 years.
there's also a factor of how much of that position is paid for because we don't have as much overtime on the other positions.
True.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I mean, bottom line for me in that situation, when this presentation does come to council, is I want to know the pros and cons, the finances of it.
Right.
Like, okay, where are we paying for it from? Why
Well,
do we need to,
and-
what is, that's always my bottom line when anyone presents anything. It's like,
Right.
what's this gonna cost the city?
Yeah.
I need to know that.
And we will, yeah, I mean, that's easy, those numbers are fairly easy to come up with.
Yeah, again.
But and also, you know, to Rod's point, it's like, there's a lot that's not being, you know, that they don't have time for right now.
Yep.
Would we see, you know, an improvement in those areas? Or are they just so tight on time with everything that's going on that this person will just be kind of absorbed in that mix to help with that load, like you say, less overtime and getting these cases going? Apparently, we're starting to have big city
Could it be
issues.
used for a detective?
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
can be.
yeah,
And maybe that's the presentation.
yeah. and why they need that detective.
Madam Chair, there are no questions online.
Okay, good. Well, we will, anything else, guys? We'll see you tonight. I apologize again for,
It's totally fine. The only thing is, I will not be at our next council meeting.
Will you make sure to share that tonight?
I
during-
planned on it, yep. Just wanted to be sure I said
Yeah,
here too.
correspondence.
yes, okay. Meeting adjourned.
Okey dokey.
Turn that off. Okay.
Is it-
Hello, have